Hello everyone, hello MMA world, welcome again to another episode of Champions Way MMA. Oh, this cord is bothering me. To another episode of Champions Way MMA. I'm excited to come and talk to you, and this time I want to talk to you about the situation at the welterweight division of the UFC. Obviously, just a week ago, no, I think 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, probably a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember now. I mean, all the events come run together now. That Leon Edwards cemented himself as the true champion. I said the true champion. He was always the true champion, but in the minds of many MMA fans, they felt like the head kick, from the previous fight was a lucky shot, and that Kamaru Usman would come back and regain his belt. Now, I was among the few who believed that Leon Edwards would pull it again, and I made a video, and I explained, I gave my arguments why I thought that Leon Edwards would have won again, and obviously he did. And this time, not just a lucky punch or a lucky kick, it was in a 5-round fight, and he won the decision. So there is no question, he is absolutely, definitely, certainly the man, the champion in the division. And because of that, that has opened the landscape. That has changed the landscape completely. So you have Kamaru Usman, clearly another contender now. You have Colby Covington. You have Belal Muhammad. I think some rumors out there he's going to fight Rakhmonov next. Rakhmonov also, some people even pointed out that he should have the next title shot. He had just had a war with Geoff Neal. Obviously you have the fight between Gilbert Burns and Masvidal coming up. So, but the big news is, after UFC 286, Dana White said it very clearly that that Colby Covington was next for the title. And obviously that didn't sit well with Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards didn't believe that Colby Covington deserves a title shot. Just like many other people, fans and MMA commentators, many people didn't believe that Colby Covington deserved a title shot. And that's why I made the video myself. I was among that group, whether it's a large group or a small group, whatever. I was among those who believed that he didn't deserve a title shot either. And I made my argument. I explained why. That I get it. I got anything. If you want, you can go back and watch the video. But I gave my argument why I believe that Colby Covington did not deserve a title shot. But they now have made it clear that he's next. And even during the press conference last night from UFC Fight Night between Corey Sandhagen and Marlon Vera, when they asked him a question about that, he made it even clearer that definitely Colby Covington would get the next title. And he said, it's not like I'm asking for permission or anything. He is talking like a boss, and obviously he is the boss. And he said Colby Covington would get the next title shot. So now the question is, should we stop Dana White? Can we stop Dana White? Now, before I go any further, I don't want you to think that I'm one of those Dana White haters out there. Some of those people who like to bash Dana White, think, he's done this and that and he's wrong on this and that. Absolutely not. Because actually, when it comes to Dana White, I have nothing but respect and admiration for the guy. The guy was built, the UFC has done what he has done. He is the king, when it comes to combat sport. Nobody has done what he has done. I think he's done an excellent job, with the UFC, and I think we all can learn from Dana. We all can. He's a guy that I would think could inspire any one of us. Anybody who wants to build something, want to do something. He's a guy that you can definitely, if you have a chance to sit and talk to him, I think that would be great to sit and pick his brain and that would help, definitely. So I have nothing against the guy, so I'm sorry if that's what you were expecting. This is not what I'm going to talk about, so I just want to rather point the obvious. Dana White has decided that Colby Covington is going to get a title shot. So I don't think we can change that. He's the boss. That's what he has decided. And obviously, Leon Edwards is the champion. Now, the arguments that I made on the previous video that why I didn't think Colby Covington deserve a title shot. And even then, when I made the video, I did explicitly, mention that reservation. It's not like he doesn't deserve it, because that would say like Colby Covington is not skillful enough, or is not at that level enough to get a title shot. But I think my arguments, which is the arguments of many in the MMA world, was that Colby Covington was inactive for long periods of time, and he lost twice. He lost 2 championships already to Kamaru Usman. I mean, obviously there are other people out there with aspiration to fight for the belt as well. They deserve their opportunity, their chance. And also, it seems to me, and this is my opinion, I may be wrong, but it seems to me that he's the kind of guy who pick and choose certain opponents, to fight, and every time he has a way of kind of sliding his way into a title shot. And that's what he has done twice, with Kamaru Usman. And because Colby Covington, I mean, he can use his mouth. He knows how to get himself into situation. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying he is capable of that. I mean, he can grab the microphone and say things that's exciting. And because of that, I think he brings a lot of people to watch a fight. He's bringing a lot of eyeballs, to the game. And I think that's probably why he's so appealing to them. But again, not just that. He's skillful. I mean, obviously, the 2 fights between him and Kamaru Usman, they were very close fights. He gave Kamaru Usman a very tough fight. And he has beat everybody else he has fought, whether he picked and choose them a certain way, but he beat all of them. So I'm not sitting here and bashing Colby Covington. I don't have anything against the guy. I mean, it's not like I'm a fan or anything. As I said, when I come here, I try to just use facts to make my points, my comment. I'm not a fan of anybody, but I think, I'm just making an observation, what I noticed, but I have nothing against the guy. And I think, skill-wise, we can argue that he doesn't deserve it, because, I mean, who else would? You can point out to somebody like Bilal Muhammad, which I made, doing the video. That's somebody that I pointed out that deserved a title shot. He's been fighting. He's on a win streak. He stayed active. He's on a win streak. Impressive win streak last time out, KO'd Sean Brady. So I think he would deserve the title shot. But, that's not going to happen. And, so now we're going to have we have Colby Covington versus Leon Edwards. So now what I'm trying to do right here, actually, I want to give advice to Leon Edwards. So if I were Leon Edwards, if I were in his camp, if I were his manager and the people around him, I would say, you know what, just give up on this, just give up on the battle, because at the end of the day, Dana White made a comment when they say, but Colby Covington hasn't been active, and he pointed out that Leon Edwards wasn't active for almost 2 years, and he came back and fight for a title. So, I mean, and at the end of the day, you are the champion. You're going to have to fight everybody. Fight them today, fight them tomorrow, and at the time, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to fight them. You can look at this. You can say, oh, man, I mean, I just fought Kamaru Usman. He was, a wrestler. But at the end of the day, if you just had a training camp preparing for a wrestler, I would think if your next fight is another wrestler, that may have some advantage to it, because it's almost like you could continue to build on what you have learned, you have started from the previous fight. So that may be an advantage because it's fresh. You just practice it. You just went through the routines, through the same thing, and you're going to pretty much the same preparation for Colby Covington if you were versus Kamaru Usman. Obviously, Colby Covington brings in a crazy pace, but it's very similar in terms of your preparation for both fighters. So I think that's one way you can look at it. And also, you coming in with a lot of confidence. You just beat the guy who beat him twice. You just beat that guy twice. So that gives you a lot of confidence. And also look at it in terms of, he is a popular guy in the division, can bring a lot of revenue. So that also, would help you, get you a better paycheck at the end of the day. And if you beat Colby Covington, which a lot of people think, at least according to Dana White and Chael Sonnen, which is something I'm about to talk about. I'm about to talk about that, briefly in a moment. But he would be the champion if Kamaru Usman didn't exist. So, I mean, if you beat him, then that means the rest of the work gets a lot easier for you, as far as continue defending your title. So, as far as Dana White and Chael Sonnen, they were the people who kept saying this thing, and they still saying it today, like, if Kamaru Usman weren't here, Colby Covington would be the champion. I don't like this. And the reason, because they had been saying this before, even before Leon Edwards became the champion. So, and Leon Edwards just beat the guy who beat Colby Covington twice. So, how do we look at that? I mean, when you say that, do you mean like if he never faced Leon Edwards, if he could manage to avoid Leon Edwards, or if Leon Edwards never got a chance to get a title shot? Because to me, those kind of statements are very inaccurate, can be very inaccurate, and very misleading. That's the word I'm trying to use. That's very misleading because we can't say right now. We don't know. But I mean, obviously, him and Leon Edwards, they're about to fight, so we'll find out. It's up to Leon Edwards to prove whether Dana White and Chael Sonnen have been right all along, or whether he's been wrong all along. But I think, based on the facts at least we have right now, because Leon Edwards is the champion, so I don't think this statement is still a valuable statement to say that Colby Covington would be the champion if Kamaru Usman didn't exist. So, anyways, guys, so this was my comments. That's what I thought. And I think at this point, we just need to all focus on this fight. Just get behind it. Let's see it. We love to see great fights. It's going to be a great fight between Colby Covington and Leon Edwards. So once again, Leon Edwards, just, just quit that fight. I've seen many fighters go through that road. I don't think that's necessary. You're a great champ. You've done a great job. You beat Kamaru Usman twice. I think this is nothing for you to face. As again, I don't have a dog in the fight, but I think you can definitely give Colby Covington a great challenge. So I would focus on it. Get back with your team. Once you get all paperwork signed and you go to your training camp, do what you do, champ, and just come back and fight. That's what I would say. And as far as Kamaru Usman, I think, now that he's a contender, I think one of the fight that would make sense for him. I don't know. I would have to check. I'm not sure if Sean Brady has a fight booked, but I think Sean Brady would be a good option, for him to kind of rebalance, things, to get started again and see whether he can go for another run at the title. I think that would be a good starting point. Somebody like Sean Brady. I heard somebody pointed out to Thompson. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I would prefer Sean Brady, but I think that definitely a second good option as well. Just as far as start another. To see if he can go at another run at the title. Anyways, guys, please go to the comment section. Share your comments. Let me know what you think. I always love when you guys comment, on these videos, because obviously I'm learning. I love MMA, and I love to hear other people who love MMA just as I do express their opinions, whether it's different from mine, and that's what makes it fun. I like to hear what you got to say. And please subscribe to my channel. You'd be the first to be notified when we come up with other videos, and also likes and share. So I can't wait to come and talk to you again. But until then, peace out.